I know sometimes it can be hard to get a sense of a course just based on the website. So in this video, I want to give you a quick tour of what Practical Self-Compassion, your daily toolkit for energy, confidence, and joy is actually about. Let's get started. So our journey begins with a module called Your Inner Compass. And you might be wondering, in a course called Practical Self-Compassion, why are we starting with a module called Your Inner Compass? And the reason is, if self-compassion is designed to help bring us back to our center, where we have energy, where we have confidence, where we have joy, where we're our best self, then we need to know who that best self is. We need to remember who that best self is. Think about that for a moment. Who are you when you're not struggling with all these self-judgments and beliefs, or even outer self-judgments and blame? Who are you? So we're going to expand on that in this module, and we're going to utilize practices from Zen Buddhism, especially to help us remember who we are in the biggest sense possible. In addition, I'm going to bring in some practical science-backed strategies for how to then take that center, take that place where you feel resourced, and expand and grow that each day. In other words, our daily toolkit for practical self-compassion isn't just going to be about how do you deal with those judgments and things as they come up. It's going to be about how do you continue to take meaningful steps in the direction of the life that you want to live. What do you want to contribute to the world? What are the steps you want to take towards that? So this first module is going to be all about resourcing yourself, remembering who you are when you're not caught in the struggle, and expanding your capacity on a daily basis, not just as a vision. And I'm going to show you how to incorporate that into your daily schedule without adding a ton to your daily schedule, but rather shifting perhaps how you do things so that you're able to take meaningful steps in the direction of your perfect life. In Module 2, we're going to look at everyday self-empathy. In other words, what do you do when self-judgments come up, inner beliefs or external judgments, and how do you bring compassion to them in a way that helps you come back to your center, your place of energy, of confidence and joy? So this module is all about practical strategies for bringing compassion to yourself in the moment that self-judgments arise. And in particular, I'm drawing from both nonviolent communication and somatic experiencing. So this is really an embodied approach, not a head-based approach. Sometimes I found nonviolent communication strategies on their own can get kind of heady. So this approach is really based on feeling in the body what you need and addressing it in the moment. I'm also going to share a technique I call micro self-empathy, because there's times when we need to be able to do this while we're in the middle of a conversation with someone, or while we're in the middle of accomplishing something that's quite urgent. How do we bring that self-compassion to ourselves right in the heat of the moment? In Module 3, we'll look at how to tend to the wounds of our past. This is where we do a deep dive into what are the wounds from our past that are helping to shape who we are today and our choices. Why is it that certain thoughts continue to trouble us? Why is it that certain judgments keep showing up again and again and again? And how can we bring some relief and change to that pattern? How can we transform the pain of those old unmet needs, possibly from early in our childhood? How do we tend to them now in the moment? So I'm going to share some powerful techniques from psychology, from Robert Gonzalez's energy of needs work in nonviolent communication, and also some Buddhist practices around working with those wounds from our past. In particular, I want to support you to not let the inner wounded child be the one in charge of your life, making the decisions, but rather your true self, your resource self, be the one that's in charge and caring for the inner wounded child when they show up. This brings me to Module 4, which is all about making life-serving boundaries. I'm really excited about this module because it's one of the pieces that I've seen missing in so many other self-compassion courses. And the importance of this in self-compassion is, if self-compassion is a way to demonstrate that we care for ourselves, making life-serving boundaries helps build that trust with ourselves that we are able to take care of ourselves. If we're not able to make effective life-serving boundaries when we're in relationship with other people, then how can our inner wounded child trust that we are actually capable of being in charge? We need to act in a way that is in integrity with how we want others to treat us. And so in this module, I'm going to go over some simple practices that I've learned from my own experience of how to make life-serving boundaries without a lot of drama, and also understand the difference between boundaries, requests, and demands. Finally, I also want to show you a technique for how to even avoid having excessive boundary discussions, but still take care of your needs in an effective way in relationship to others. The fifth and final module in this course is called Gratitude and Daily Joy. And the reason for this module is because nothing helps us to deepen our self-compassion practice more than remembering and staying connected to the beauty and preciousness of life. I'm going to show you some simple ways to stay connected to that on a daily basis. I'm also going to lead you through a powerful and transformative practice to help you connect to your worth, your intrinsic value, your gratitude for yourself for what you contribute to others. I'm also going to introduce you to some science-backed practices for putting joy back into your day. And I promise these will be fun and probably not what you expect. So in this module, I'm really excited to play with you and help us all remember the beauty and importance of what it means to be alive. So that's a little tour of what you can expect from practical self-compassion, your daily toolkit for energy, confidence, and joy. There's a lot more in there than I can cover in a short video like this. So I hope I'll see you there along with others from all around the world as we remember who we are, who you long to be, and take practical daily steps towards realizing that vision of ourselves, towards actually becoming and being that person, freeing ourselves from the obstacles of self-judgments, core beliefs, inner wounds, external judgments, and being able to create the life we want. I hope to see you there.